All JJK domain expansions explained in Ranked. Chimera Shadow Garden. Megumi's Chimera Shadow Garden is technically incomplete, but still terrifying because of how flexible it is. Instead of instantly killing opponents with a guaranteed strike, the domain floods the area with shadows that Megumi can manipulate freely. He can duplicate himself, spawn multiple Shikigami, and attack from any direction, turning the battlefield into a three-dimensional maze of ambush points. What makes this domain dangerous is mobility control. Opponents sink into shadows, lose footing, and are constantly pressured from blind spots. Megumi can reposition instantly, while enemies struggle just to move. However, because it lacks a true refined sure-hit technique, its killing power is lower than top-tier domains. Against elite sorcerers with counters or stronger domains, Chimera Shadow Garden can be overwhelmed. It's terrifying for mid-tier fighters, but against the absolute monsters of the series, it's still growing. Coffin of the Iron Mountain. Jogo's Coffin of the Iron Mountain is a volcanic kill room. Once you're inside, the environment itself becomes lethal, crushing heat, eruptions, and flame attacks that are enhanced by the sure-hit rules of a domain. Even standing still becomes dangerous because the temperature and cursed flames are meant to melt defenses and burn you down fast. What makes this domain so strong is how quickly it can end most fights. Sorcerers who aren't elite get cooked almost immediately. The domain doesn't require finesse. It's overwhelming elemental destruction. The weakness is that it's still damage-based, meaning if an opponent can counter domain, tank the heat, or neutralize Jogo quickly, it loses the instant win factor. But against the majority of fighters, it's a near guaranteed execution. Idle Death Gamble. Kari's Idle Death Gamble is one of the strangest and most broken domains because it's less about attacking the enemy and more about forcing a rigged game that upgrades Hakari into a monster. The domain pulls both people into a pachinko-style scenario with predetermined rules, visuals, and conditions. While it looks goofy, the effect is terrifying. If Hakari hits a jackpot, he gains a period of near unkillable immortality through infinite cursed energy and automatic reverse curse technique healing. That means for the jackpot duration, you can blast him, cut him, crush him. He just keeps coming back. Most domains win by sure-hit damage. Hakari wins by becoming a relentless engine that can outlast anything. The reason it sits mid-high is because it's not guaranteed on the first spin, and it doesn't immediately kill the opponent inside the domain. But once he hits the jackpot, the fight becomes a survival horror scenario where you're the one running out of time. Self-embodiment of perfection. Mahito's self-embodiment of perfection is lethal because it guarantees his soul manipulation. In a normal fight, Mahito needs to touch you to use idle transfiguration. In his domain, that restriction is removed. Your soul is exposed to the sure-hit effect automatically. That's why this domain is so feared. Durability doesn't matter. Cursed energy reinforcement doesn't matter. Even blocking doesn't matter. The attack targets the shape of the soul, and the body follows. Inside the domain, Mahito can twist you into a monster, kill you instantly, or deform you so badly you can't fight. That makes it one of the most unfair domains in the series. The only real counterplay is to clash domains, escape immediately, or have some special protection. If you're trapped without a counter, you're already dead. Deadly Sentencing. Higura's Deadly Sentencing is terrifying because it removes fighting entirely and replaces it with judgment. Inside the domain, violence is restricted, and both sides are forced into a courtroom run by judgment. Evidence appears, arguments matter, and then the verdict drops. If the opponent is found guilty, Higuruma can apply punishments that are insanely unfair in jujutsu terms, like taking away your cursed technique, which is basically stripping you of your identity as a fighter. What makes this domain high tier is how it bypasses power. A physically superior monster can still lose because the domain attacks their status rather than their body. Its weakness is that it's still a legal system. It can be argued against, manipulated, or minimized if the opponent plays smart, but when it lands the right verdict, it's one of the most devastating domains ever. Malevolent Shrine. Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine is one of the most terrifying domains ever created because it doesn't even trap you. Instead of forming a barrier, Sukuna manifests a massive kill zone in the real world. Inside its radius, countless invisible slashes cleave and dismantle, strike continuously, shredding everything in range. Buildings, people, terrain, nothing survives. The adaptive nature of cleave means the cuts automatically scale to the target's durability, ensuring lethal damage even to heavily reinforced opponents. Escape is nearly impossible unless you outrange the domain or counter instantly. What makes it monstrous is persistence. The slaughter doesn't stop. You aren't dodging a single attack, you're standing inside a meat grinder that fills the city block. Unlimited Void. Gojo's domain doesn't kill the body immediately, it kills your ability to function. Unlimited Void floods the target's mind with infinite information, forcing their brain to process everything at once. Thoughts freeze, muscles stop responding, consciousness collapses. Even surviving for a fraction of a second leaves permanent mental damage. You don't lose because Gojo punches you. You lose because your nervous system shuts down. This domain is nearly perfect. Defense is meaningless. Movement becomes impossible. Countermeasures require extreme speed, or domain clashes at the very highest level. It ranks second only because one domain exists that surpasses even conceptual paralysis. Authentic mutual love. At the very top are domains that combine absolute sure hit, massive cursed energy, and adaptability, particularly Yuta Okatsu's fully realized domain in later arcs, and Sukuna's peak usage. Yuta's domain allows him to freely deploy copied techniques with guaranteed hits across the battlefield, overwhelming opponents with multiple lethal abilities simultaneously. Instead of one attack type, enemies face an arsenal raining down without escape. What makes this tier unbeatable is flexibility plus inevitability. Every angle becomes fatal. Every second inside the domain worsens the situation. At this level, domains stop being special moves. They become execution chambers.